And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Today we're taking a look at TF22 Load with an exclamation point. Now, TF22 Load is a game that's part of a series in this space genre, I guess, this universe, although I'm not sure this game is really that space-oriented. We'll see in a second. It comes in a tin, which normally I'm against, although in this one the lid snaps on, and this is very sturdy, and it has almost like this weird stark look to it. You know, it's just an interesting box. Almost looks like it should be holding some bullets or something for a gun. But anyhow, this is a two-player game in which you're loading crates on a spaceship. Let's see. Alright, in TF22 Load, each player gets a scoring card with probably one of the coolest unnecessary scoring markers ever, this little pewter space dude guy. And so you keep track of your points on this card, and if you go over 40 points, you flip it and keep going. Alright, so simple enough. Keep track of your score. You also have this loading card. This is your cargo bay of your spaceship that you are trying to load up on. And then there's this card that explains something to you, which I'll talk about in just a second. Now, this game comes with cards in 4 different colors. Each of these cards is numbered 0, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3. So there's 1, 0, 2 1s, 2 2s, and 2 3s. And these come in 4 different colors. Unfortunately, there's no real way to tell the colors apart other than the fact of different colors. So for colorblind people, you're not really going to be able to tell the difference that I can figure out. But anyhow, these cards are going to be shuffled. Since there is 7 of each of the cards, and the cards, so there's 28 different cards, you're going to shuffle these 28 cards, and then you're going to take 4 of those out. So you're left with 24 cards, and then the rest are dealt to each of the players, so that both players have 12 cards. You're then essentially going to play kind of a game of war, where each of you is going to take a card from your hand and play it face down like this. So each person will play a card face down in front of them, and then they'll turn those cards over. Now, if the cards are the exact same color and the exact same number, they go away and nothing happens. That's probably not going to happen very often. What is going to happen more often than not are different colors are going to be played. So, if green and blue are played together, green beats blue. Green is the most powerful color. Green beats blue, and green beats red. Blue beats red, and it beats yellow. Red's kind of terrible because it only beats yellow. Yellow gets beat by blue or red, but beats green. Now that sounds a little confusing, but it's not that bad. In fact, it's on the loader here. You can see green beats blue, blue beats red, red beats yellow, and yellow beats green. So it's not that difficult. If 2 people play the same color, then the person who played the higher number wins. So in this case, the 2 beats the 0. Now, when you beat somebody, you take the cards that you've played, and you're going to take both of them, these cards, and put them face down in a score pile that you have. Also, the winning card, you will take a crate of that color. And these are really cool crates. They stack pretty well on top of each other. They look pretty neat. You can see they stack like this. You'll take a crate and stack it here in the loading thing. Now this is where this other card comes in handy, because you can see here that it shows different ways that you can stack the crates. You can stack any crate, but some crates can't go on top of other crates. For example, yellow crates can never be stacked on top of anything. They must always be on the ground level. You could put any crate on a ground level, but you could put, for example, a red on top of a yellow, and then on top of that red, you could put a blue, and on top of that blue, you could do a green. So I could do this all the way across. That would be perfect if I had 5 yellows, 5 reds, 5 blues, and 5 greens. However, you're often going to win crates. You know, for example, I'll win a blue here, and so I can say, oh, that's easy. I'll put the blue on top of this red, and then I win a yellow, and then I win another yellow, and then I win another yellow, then I win another yellow, and there's nowhere to put a yellow. So if you ever win one, you have to either put out a new crate, or you can move a crate. So for example, let's say I want a blue here. Instead of playing a blue, I can move the blue on top of this yellow. I probably wouldn't want to do that. More likely than not, if I had a yellow with a blue on top of it, I can move the blue on top of the red, which gives me a chance. But I mean, there's different things you do. If you can't move one or put a new one out, then your opponent gets the cards, and they can pick which card they want to use to put out a crate for. So you're going to do this, and then after all the 12 cards have been played by both players, you're going to score. You're going to compare the two loading cards. So let's say this is your card, and on my card I happen to have a red, a blue with a green on top of it, and a green on top of this red. Now, you have the most yellows, so all the yellow cards that you have in your score pile will give you points equal to the value of those cards. You also have the most blues, so all the yellows and blues will give you points. I'm going to get points for greens because I have 2 greens to your 1 green, and neither of us is going to get points for the reds because we both have 2 reds. Once this is done, the 4 cards that you took out are brought back in. You shuffle together 28 cards, split those out, keep doing it. You leave these crates here. You do 2 more rounds of this, and then after the 3rd round, you get 3 bonus points for each one of these that you have, a full stack of yellow, red, blue, green, and then whoever has the most points is the winner of the game. Now really, this is kind of a very interesting game of sorts. And I say that because, you know, the whole space theme is kind of not there. It's just, it's almost like this game is a convoluted version of war. And that really is what it is. You're playing cards and you're trying to outguess the other person. If I play blue, he might play, you know, green. But since he thinks I'm going to play blue and he's going to play green, I'll play a yellow. That's cool. I don't mind that sort of thing. The problem is that your hand gets limited as time goes by, and you essentially know that the cards that you don't have, your opponent has, with the exception of the 4 that were taken out. And I think it's critical that those 4 are taken out, otherwise you'd have perfect information, and the game might be interesting, but would be less so, I think. I don't mind that. The outputting the other person is interesting. It's just that when you're also trying to couple that with which crate do I want to take. Green wins a lot, but you don't want to take green crates at the beginning because you don't want to put them on the bottom. So you want to take yellow crates at the beginning. But then your opponent knows you're going to take yellow crates, so they'll play red and blue, probably red. And since they're probably going to play red, you know, so there's a double mind game going in there. You know, the game itself is not a bad game. I think for me, it just didn't really grab me. It was good, interesting, played the crates, but at the same time, it seemed like if you play a couple cards wrong, you've lost the whole game. It's really hard to catch up. You know, after round 1 and one person's leading, and every game I played, that person won the game. It's very difficult to come back from that, you know, because if you get a good setup of the crates, you have an advantage over your opponent. It doesn't matter how well you play. It's interesting. I don't know what else to say other than that. I mean, I can't say it's bad. It was enjoyable, fun 2-player game, pretty easy to play, fast. We're talking 20 minutes. Not, I mean, a little wonky to understand how it works, but it's not that difficult. And kind of outguessing the other person. Really cool quality components. So, what's the problem? And I don't know. It just didn't grab me. So I find this one okay. A neat experience. And perhaps it will grab you. That's up for you to decide. Anyway, that's TF22 Load.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Stefan, shut the door.
There.